Brandon, thanks for joining us in the World Copper Conference here in Santiago. So I want to hear some of your takeaways. We've been talking about the challenges that the mining industry, the copper industry has. What's your take, or what are the main challenges in the midterm, and what is BHP's strategy to walk through them?
Well, thank you. It's a great question, and I'm very excited to be here. It's my first CRU conference here in Chile. I'm representing BHP, obviously, and we are very excited about the future for copper in this part of the world. This particular conference is a huge opportunity for us to actually get to know all of the stakeholders in the copper industry. And for somebody like myself who is new to the copper industry, having come from iron ore quite recently, it's a great opportunity for me to network and to meet some of my peers. I had the privilege to participate in a panel session during the course of this morning, which I think was very informative and in many respects went to the heart of the question you've raised, which is, what really is the future for copper, and how are we thinking about that? And I mean, we clearly as BHP want to grow copper. We think this is probably the preeminent part of the world in terms of how we grow copper. But I think we've also seen there's a lot of challenges. It's really important that we can find really good resources. It's important that we can put together capital efficient projects. But those also require fiscal stability, and they also require us to go through some extensive stakeholder engagement, which is why it's so important that we come together at conferences like this, so we can actually share with our industry peers, but also with government, how important it is that we can come together and work together to actually solve some of the challenges that we have, because we have to bring a huge volume of copper to the market to meet the decarbonisation challenge that the world faces. And that's only going to be possible if the industry collaborates really well with government, and we can secure all the necessary approvals to actually build the set of projects we need to create the future that I think we all want to see happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think in the panel as well, one of the key words I think we heard a lot was collaboration. And you mentioned collaboration with government, but it also seems to be collaboration more broadly with communities, but also among companies, among mining companies. And how do you see that play around?
So inside BHP, we talk about that as social value. We used to, in the past, talk about it as a license to operate. Now, mining companies are very interesting in terms of, they are deeply embedded in regional areas. More than any other industry, they are really exposed to local stakeholders and local needs. And how we think about that and how we respond to that is really, really important, because for an industry like ours, we can only prosper if our communities support us. And I think we recognize that we have a really critical role to play in supporting the regional parts of countries where we operate. And you find that government and government services often struggle to get services out into remote areas, into regional areas. And the mining industry actually has really good underlying capability. And what you often find is I think we have the capability of being able to bring services, jobs, employment to regional areas where without mining that's not always possible. So that's a responsibility we take very seriously, because if we do a really good job of that, and then communities start to call for mining participation in the areas that they are, that gives us a huge opportunity then to get the support of the population to build out the projects that we would like to do in the various countries, and of course right here in Chile.
Well, thanks Brandon for joining us, and keep enjoying the rest of the conference, and thanks.
It was a great pleasure, and thank you very much.